The interpretation people have of the term costly food differs widely. For some, it means red salmon. To others, it means truffles. There's also a whole selection of food items, however, that have price tags that you'd never thought were feasible. They claim that you should not have to have a silver fork to appreciate a decent meal. A decent meal needn't be too costly for an average citizen. A pizza or dal makhani is always enough to make us satisfied, but there are people who order incredibly costly food because they only might. Welcome to the Magnetic Flux. I'm your host Bob, as we count down the top 10 most expensive food. Don't forget to hit subscribe and click the bell to be notified of new content. Number 10 is MATSUTAKE mushrooms. As with many things that cost a lot of money, MATSUTAKE have developed a bit of a reputation for being coveted. Commercial pickers scour our national forests in the Pacific Northwest each year in the fall looking for them, and MATSUTAKE patches are closely held secrets. There are numerous reports of people hiding out on trails, robbing commercial pickers at gunpoint, and other, much scarier tales. These mushrooms are so uncommon that their demand for a single kilogram now approaches as high as $600. MATSUTAKE mushrooms are native to Japan, but often grow in various Asian countries. Nonetheless, because of the impact of insects and aggressive plants making their way into the shaded areas in which the mushrooms flourish, their number has decreased dramatically. Since there is no way to cultivate MATSUTAKE mushrooms, there is a strong probability that they will eventually vanish in the future. Number 9 is Kopi Luwak coffee. At first, the civet coffee trade boded well for these creatures. In Indonesia, the Asian palm civet, which raids commercial fruit farms, is often seen as a pest. So the growth in the Kopi Luwak industry encouraged local people to protect civets for their valuable dung. Their digestive enzymes change the structure of proteins in the coffee beans, which remove some of the acidity to make a smoother cup of coffee. This coffee is grown in Indonesia, the Philippines, and southern India in large amounts. Kopi Luwak is the world's costliest coffee. The expense ranges from $250 to $1,200 per kilogram. This is known for the very professional way it is handled. Number 8 is white pearl albino caviar. So rare and prestigious, white pearl albino sturgeon caviar is one of the most expensive and most rare foods in the world. Kolokov Caviar is proud to be one of the few discriminating purveyors in the world to offer this exotic and rare delicacy. This sturgeon caviar is an excellent suggestion when it is one's desire to surprise and delight the senses of both sight and taste. 1 kilogram of this caviar costs €8,500, $9,100. The albino sturgeon is a sort of big fish which lives in the Caspian Sea. Since the eggs from the albino sturgeon are procured very seldomly, the expense of the caviar is very high, only when they are expected to be around 100 years old. Number 7 belongs to swallow's nest soup. Every once in a while I stumble upon a food and think, what sick mind came up with this idea in the first place? Bird's nest soup falls into that category. I'd like to meet whoever first decided to soak a bird's nest in water overnight, then pick feathers and feces out of the nest, add it to a bowl of chicken broth, onions, sherry, and egg white, and then start eating. Oh, that's insane! Such birds' nests are constructed almost exclusively from their blood, with no inclusion of foreign material. Their nests have since become a delicacy in Chinese cuisine. The high price of this dish is readily explained. Collecting nests of swallows is a very risky profession. The birds build their nests on sheer cliffs, where there is a very high risk of falling off. Then the expense of this delicacy is about $3,000 a kilogram. Number 6 on the position is saffron. Saffron can be a contentious ingredient. Those going for authenticity would never make a classic saffron-based recipe without it, and those with sensitive palates would argue that it adds a unique flavor that you can't find anywhere else. To them, that little pinch of saffron makes and breaks the dish, so it's worth the high cost. But there are those out there who aren't as worried about exact flavor replication and just want to approximate the yellow glow without spending a fortune, so they choose a substitute like turmeric instead. This seasoning could cost between $400 and $1,000 per kilogram. That is because in the fall, saffron only develops for 7 days a year. This is hand-collected and stored. In comparison, it is appropriate to select 300,000 flowers to gather only 1 kilogram of saffron. Number 5 on the list is white truffles. The high price of these truffles, in addition to their exquisite taste and aroma, is the result of the very specific conditions they require in order to grow, as well as the special methods of collecting and preserving them. In Europe, it costs about €2,000, $2,100, for 1 kilogram of white truffles. Some may describe the taste of black truffles as a mixture of chocolatey, nutty, and earthy, and others may describe it as having a subtle woody flavor mixed with a slight mushroom taste. The region where a truffle is harvested from plays a large role in the taste. White truffles carry a slightly different taste and aroma. They are often described as having a slight garlicky flavor, similar to shallots, with a deep musky aroma. The pungent aroma and subtle flavor can turn any traditional dish into a gourmet taste experience. As said before, truffles have the unique ability to enhance savory and even sweet dishes to gourmet status. Fourth on the log is AYAM CEMANI black chicken. Some people are curious about AYAM CEMANI or CEMANI chicken taste. Is CEMANI chicken taste delicious, or what does a black chicken taste like? Actually, AYAM CEMANI chicken tastes delicious, like other chicken in general. The taste of CEMANI chicken meat is more savory than chicken meat in general. The texture of the meat is also soft and tender, and the smell is quite fragrant. This meat is quite fibrous, but when cooked, the meat is easy to process and not tough. This CEMANI chicken meat can be cooked into various dishes. In Indonesia, people usually process CEMANI chicken meat by frying it. The AYAM CEMANI chicken is raised in Indonesia, but due to concerns it may carry bird flu, it is not exported to different countries. Its poultry breed is so uncommon in Indonesia that one chick costs about $200, and that price may hit thousands of dollars outside the region. The AYAM CEMANI, however, is so popular in Malaysia that its price is no higher than that of a regular chicken. Third on the list is Japanese Wagyu steaks. Wagyu cattle are significantly different to the traditional breeds of British, European, and Bos Indicus cattle that have been bred in Australia for more than 100 years. They are medium-sized, hardy cattle with a great temperament and unique meat quality attributes. Wagyu beef is popular around the world because of its superior eating quality compared with other breeds of cattle. Not only does Wagyu beef have higher levels of intramuscular fat, or marbling, but the meat texture is finer, resulting in a more flavorsome eating experience. A super beef of sorts, Wagyu is known for its marbled appearance and for being so tender it actually melts in your mouth. Wagyu steaks, made from Japanese beef, are one of the world's most savory and expensive delicacies. The meat has a stunning aroma, the second highest marbling score possible, and a famous buttery texture. In Japan, massages are given to the purebred Wagyu bull calves used to produce the meat, drink beer, and play classical music. 1 kilogram of this type of meat can cost as much as $450. Second place belongs to dry-cured Iberian ham. The story of Jamón Ibérico ham is steeped in mystery and romance. The ancient oak pastures of Spain, the noble black Ibérico pig, the mountain air which caresses each ham as it magically is transformed into one of the world's most exquisite foods, all play a part in this uniquely Spanish phenomenon. Without each ingredient, the recipe is disturbed. Greatness can only be achieved with patience, skill, and adherence to traditional methods. The most costly form of ham in the world is Jamón Ibérico, which is made in Spain. The Iberian pig is raised solely on acorns in Spain, and large fields are set out for them to graze in. For 1 kilogram of dry-cured jamón, costs fluctuate around €365, $392. First on the list is moose cheese. Moose cheese is cheese created from moose milk. Varieties of moose cheese are produced in Sweden by Christer and Ulla Johansson at their location called Moose House or Elk House. 3 varieties of moose cheese are produced. Some of the world's most popular cheeses are moose cheese, which is made in one location only, at Sweden's Moose House farm. It takes moose milk for its development. Moose cheese is white in color, which is reminiscent of feta cheese in presentation. This requires about €1,000 per kilogram, $1,074, which is produced in very limited sizes.